You are watching Gmodism and this is From the Depth. We're back with building a Super-Battlecarrier for Admiral LCG Canyon. Oh yes indeed. And we're building it for him because he's supporting us on Patreon. So thanks a lot to our other commissioned officers in the army of Gmodism. Your contribution really helps to keep this channel alive. Of course, some builds for other commissioned officers will be coming up in the future, but right now we are right here with the Super-Battlecarrier for Canyon. So we shall see. This is the thing that I've built. This is the last thing we did in the previous episode. So here we have the ship. If you haven't seen it recently, you should probably check the earlier videos. But this is how it is right now. We have a huge missile turret, we have side diff guns, and we have EMP mortars, and we are having some cool stuff going on here. And we also got the awesome idea to actually have one of the aircrafts, like a model of it, parked inside in the hangar here, but we shall see a little bit about that later. And right now I'm going to show you what I have been doing since last time, because I was a little bit sick before, but I'm basically well now, so it's all fine, just a cold. But I kind of missed a week or skipped a week for building a Super-Battlecarrier just because I wasn't feeling too well. I'm one of these people that are like, don't make videos and streams when you're very sick. It just sounds not nice. And even though my voice may be slightly messed up, but it's not, you know, I just hate to listen to people who are forcing themselves to make videos and streams when they are obviously in pain. So that's why I'm not doing it. Some other people may have other ideas about that, but I'm not doing it, and I don't want to watch content like that. So that's why I'm not doing it. But anyways, that doesn't matter very much, our opinions on that. We're just going to look at the next iteration of this little ship. So hopefully I have been building a little bit more than we usually do since we skipped a week. Yeah. Anyways, please tell me your opinions about that in the comments. It would be interesting to hear what other people think about that. Maybe I'm just a weird one. In any case, I have now been building on the superstructure of the ship. You can see I have started to shape the main superstructure thing. And of course, this was a long session of like modeling. And we can see it's like towering upwards here. And since this area will be very badly protected, we cannot have anything super important at this place. This more function as a kind of empty space. So hopefully, like, if guns aim at this portion, it doesn't matter, it will just go straight through and deal no damage. And we have the important bits mostly under the waterline, as we usually do when building ships like this. Of course, we cannot have these. I need to check though. These are some auxiliary jet engines here. They cannot be underwater though, so they are really on the edge here. But we of course are gonna have some more air pumps in this vehicle, so it will go a little bit higher. But yeah, these ones are a little bit. They may be slightly sketchy. I don't know. In any case, we have two more here, and they work well. So I added these custom jet engines. They're really hidden away and looking nice like this. And they are actually adding to battery charge capacity. So they are kind of battery chargers. If the main engine or something goes down, we still need auxiliary systems other than the things here to charge the rail guns. We need some extra systems in case we lose one of them. But that's basically, I think that's basically what I did for this one, outlining and starting to shape the superstructure right here. So we're going to go to the next level version. So here we are at the front of the ship, and I should probably do like this so it can kind of glide into the screen in a nice way. And you can see here we are getting an interesting superstructure. So we kind of have a high elevated deck there. I really wanted to go for a pretty interesting design, so I tried to make something special that I kind of think look pretty cool. And we have some extra detection here too, somewhere I think. There it is, on both sides. And we actually even have a LAM node, and it's of course EMP insulated, and it's connecting up to, well, the LAM node. Other than that, we have actually added extra vertical missiles for our vertical missile barrage. So this is a little box that just sits here in the middle and launches 4 extra of these missiles. They're pretty powerful. They're actually very powerful. I just wanted to have them in the 3rd location. And of course, this location is kind of not super well, not super good. It might be easily taken out, so I probably have to try and armor it up a little bit. But to be honest, we will not be able to protect these missiles as well as the other ones. But if someone like nukes this area with a like big cram, this one might still be alive. Who knows? It's good to have weapons on different locations, and if I'm going to be very honest, I basically thought that vertical missiles looked very cool at this exact spot. So that's why I put it there too. And they're doing their job. And we can armor up a little bit from the inside too. We can boost the armor there. So we have some additional diff guns here on the sides, aiming outwards. Looking pretty cool, doing some heavy damage if needed. We got some auxiliary detection, or tracking rather, and in this iteration I have actually installed full laser protection. So we have laser warners all over the place, and also laser, like smoke emitters hidden like where they are needed somewhere. Yeah, I've added them all over the place in any case, so it should just work. Here, I have started to outline this little thing. So this is the LAM node, which is the outermost back of the ship, and on this little area, I have installed a top LAM node to deal with things that come from above a little bit, like vertical missiles or stuff like that. And I believe we're also gonna put some decoys here to kind of lead missiles away so that they narrowly misses us as a target. And I believe those are the things I did for this little iteration. So let's go to the next one. So you can imagine when I wasn't feeling it like too well, I did build a lot, but I may have not saved the ship between, very often. So this is suddenly comes a very huge update to the ship. Yes, here it is. I have suddenly and completely outlined the total superstructure of the ship. I basically built the entire superstructure of the ship. As you can see, we added another mast, we added a cockpit area, and we did that. So this thing just magically appeared. But yeah, so let's go through it here, because it has a little special feature that is very, very cool, and was actually a suggestion from LCG Canyon. Admiral LCG Canyon said that, what if... Actually, I think I'm gonna show you. What if we sit here in the cockpit area and we're like, holy crap, a big battleship is appearing and we need to get out of here. So we go down here and we press this button, and the entire kind of cockpit area goes into the ship. Yeah, That's exactly what happens. So down here we can see here is the vertical missile. So we can just walk here. And we go down here, and inside here we are kind of deep in the ship at kind of sea level. So we are our character is pretty well protected, as you probably can see. It's like several walls. We have both the engines here. They do provide some stopping power. We have different layers of armors and the missile, and then we have like the outer deck area. So, and we have some era too. So it's like between decently thick armor. And of course, having a bridge that actually goes down and upwards like this will never, ever be a functional, smart thing to do in terms of good performance. It's kind of a gimmick thing that looks very, very cool. And I will say it does look very cool, and I mean it does its job exactly as intended. So here you can see the bridge. It even has some extra detection, the bridge. It can see backwards, forward on all the sides. We have like a 360 extra camera here. But now the bridge is like evacuated, completely empty. So if someone shoots at this area, nothing can happen, you know. And whenever we are ready / brave enough, we can just go here. And I made it heavy armor so it doesn't break too easily, you know. I thought that was kind of smart. And the bridge just goes upwards like this. It's shaped to perfectly not cut into anything and kind of fit snugly like this. And here we are at the bridge. We have the fire control. We can control the vessel. And we can even walk downwards to, well, we're gonna finish this staircase of course, but we're gonna make it so we can walk around on this kind of, I don't know, crew deck of some kind. So I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. I hope Admiral LCG Canyon would also think it's cool, and it was kind of how you can imagine it. On top of here, this is actually a tracking turret. So I made this tracking turret in an earlier stream, and I thought that if I have like a big ship, I probably want to have some kind of tracking device that can provide accurate detection on the current target. So I built this thing. It's EMP insulated. We have cameras forwards. We have visual, what is this? Camera tracker. We have radar. We have a radar tracker, and we have a extra this thing, which is in all directions and not very protected. But these parts in here are like EMP insulated, so they are pretty safe. It's a pretty good setup to provide some accurate detection. We even have a guy standing here and looking cool. Yeah, so I don't know, I think this is a pretty cool tracking tower. I think it's very useful. It will kind of aim towards the enemy and give us very accurate detections. On top of here, I decided to add more detection. So forwards radar just to catch them early on. And of course, lamb nodes. We have a line of lambs at the top of the ship here to kind of protect it a little bit better. And here we have decoys. And before I was using it was a little bit funny. Now these ACBs are inside the AI compartment core somewhere. Come on. Yeah. They're behind the stones here. So anyways, what I was going to say before, I was using a lot of ACBs to turn on and off all the different decoys, and then I kind of saw that you can actually have powered decoys, so heat, radar and sonar. So you can actually have 2 ACBs to turn on and off all radar, sonars and heat decoys. And they are set to max power, so really powerful. These draw a lot of radar and heat, so basically all heat and radar guided missile should go towards this thing and basically miss the craft. Because they are at max strength. And I even have some auxiliary extra decoys back here. So if they kind of go here and passes it, and then it searches for a new target, I don't want it to see the engine. I want it to see something else, so it should go there and definitely miss. And that's kind of the idea. I'm not a decoy master, but I kind of think that I know what I'm doing. I hope so. Here we have some small kind of fins, and I added them there to put sonar decoys. Hopefully we can deal with some sonar torpedoes in a very cheap way, just having them there. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I made sure these lights on the landing pad are yellow because I didn't do that earlier. Yeah. And I suppose that is what's been happening on the ship. The entire bridge is clear. You can see this ship is actually starting to get finished. However, believe it or not, but we actually need more turrets. Yeah, we need some extra turrets. Like this main gun or this like secondary gun is a really sturdy turret, and we're gonna have it on another ship for Captain Scooberops later. It's a very good turret, but it does have like it does provide anti-shield things. It has disruptor conduits in them as well as one of the ammos. They fire 4 different ammo types in a random order, but the thing is, they are not shooting all the time. They're not shooting often enough. So I want to have an auxiliary cannon that basically spams disruptor conduits at the enemy to really make sure that the shields are down all the time. So that's something that we're going to add, and we're going to look at some turrets I developed for that. And in the next time we will be adding these turrets to the ship. And at that point the ship is really going to be closer to the finishing line indeed. And we of course will consult a bit with LCG Canyon and see if the Admiral thinks it up to expectation. We added an extra little rudder there just to add with maneuverability a little bit. Yeah, so let's check that out. I think it looks pretty cool right now. And we of course need to, I want to have some kind of more, like we're not going to do a full, like we're not going to coat all the insides with like clean slates like this. Maybe some of them, but not all. I think we're going to make some areas accessible that will look nice, and then we'll just close off other areas and make them inaccessible. And we kind of have a little interior feeling of the ship too. But that's something for later times. Now we should look at what I have been doing for turrets. I hope you like the retractable bridge. Please tell me what you think about that in the comments. Would be pretty cool. So one thing I tried to make is my Submarina APS kinetic seawiz cannon, and it is actually an underwater cannon. And it is supposed to save us from big torpedoes by actually shooting them down with kinetic shells. However, spamming anti-missile missiles, like anti-missile munitions, like a lot of them, will always be the more effective strategy. It's kind of not bad, like it's kind of not good like that, and it's, I don't know, man, it's just how it works. They're a little bit OP, and they really encourage you to lag a lot, because if you do that, the game will just lag when you do battles. It's like, you see the battles between the Draconia and the Titan Slang, and I have like a lot of missiles, and Borderwise has like extreme amounts of anti-torpedo torpedoes, and all our missiles and torpedoes together is actually the biggest perpetrator why the FPS is so bad that I had to record it in half speed and then speed it up. So that's something, that's what's happening when you kind of add a lot of anti-missile missiles. But what you can do, of course, is building a seawiz system just like this one. The thing is that they are unfortunately not very impressive. You can see here we have a gunpowder, super cavitation base, 2 stabilizer fin bodies, solid warhead body, and a heavy head, dealing 11,000 kinetic damage. And that's actually, like, it deals a lot of damage. It's not a weak seawiz cannon. But what is a little tiny bit sad is that torpedoes that are coming from for example, the Stronghold, those are extremely tough torpedoes. They have like reinforced bodies and crazy stuff like that, which makes it almost impossible to take it out. So that's a little bit, it's not too nice. You can see here, we can test it at least. You can kind of see. So it goes like this, pretty fast, underwater shell, pretty accurate, can shoot down torpedoes. But the thing is, against huge torpedoes with a lot of reinforced bodies, they actually takes several of these turrets. I don't remember how many it was, but it was like 6 of these turrets to reliably defend against the torpedoes that are coming from the Stronghold. And one of these systems costs 15,000, so they're not dirt cheap exactly. But I kind of feel that they're a good complement. So we are going to have a few of these turrets on the Admiral's ship. I do think we are going to put at least 2, but less than 6 of them. And together with the existing anti-missile missiles, I think we should be able to defend against huge torpedoes. And that's basically one of the cannon, and these are doubling as hull snipers. So when this thing, it's actually not a like anti-air one, because the torpedoes will probably not come from exactly or they can come from like below us, and they won't aim at stuff above us, but they can aim upwards like this a little bit. And when they are not shooting at a torpedo, they are actually going to be shooting at the enemy ship's hull. So this thing can actually penetrate the hull underwater and make them sink. So they are doubling as an auxiliary weapon as well, which is another reason to definitely add them. And that's for the defensive side. Then it's mostly I've been making offensive turrets. So we have my APS, let's see here. I think this is the one. We're gonna add them all here. So this is Army of Gmodism Dome Mark 1 APS rotary autocannon 67mm. And you're going to see later, I'm going to show, so 67mm isn't actually very small. And why do I have 2 different guns with 67mm? Well, it's kind of funny. I've been designing merch, and I could design my water bottle, and I was looking at its measurements in inch, and I kind of saw that if I translate this to millimeters, this water bottle would be a 67mm shell. So I kind of thought it was funny, and then I was just deciding, okay, so what are the best cannons I can make with 67mm? So I'm going to use 67mm cannons, just because it's very funny that I have merch that is a 67mm water bottle that looks like an ammo shell. A little bit. To the best of my ability. We're going to look at that some other time. I've ordered mine, but it's available to purchase already, of course, but I haven't gotten mine yet because it's shipped from USA, so and when I gotten it, I'm going to show it for you properly, of course. But that one is the Army of Gmodism Mark 1 Dome, and this is the, I made some cool name for the Vigoletta Inc. Marksman M5 APS Sniper autocannon Army of Gmodism 67mm, like that. So let's look at this thing. You can see I've added heavy armor on the front of it, and I added metal on the back of it. So usually I like to surround my cannons with heavy armor, but then I kind of realized that what if I have double the layer of heavy armor in front of the turret and just have metal in the back? And this is a testing theory. I might change this and redesign it later if it doesn't hold up, because the thing is, if a heat, hash or frag shell lands behind it, it could destroy the turret by the fragments. And if we had heavy armor on the back, that wouldn't happen. So it's a trade-off, but if this thing gets a shot from the front, it will be twice as likely to survive because it has dual armor. So it's kind of a trade-off situation, of course. In any case, let's do like this so we can check this turret. It is a... Anyways, let's check the Dome Mark 1 first. It has a 977 RPM, so it's a pretty fast shooting cannon. It uses... It's a belt-fed one, so it's kind of a little bit unsafe. If it blows up, it blows up. If you look here, it uses squash heads. So it's basically a squash head spammer. And I'm thinking to set up this as a disruptor conduit spammer and add it to the Admiral's LCG Canyon ship. And it goes like this. It's pretty good. It's balanced. It doesn't produce more recoil than it has. It has onboard ammunition installed on it. And I had to open up a slit here to fit another huge recoil absorber. Just because, yeah, hopefully, yeah, you know, everything is a trade-off. I hope it works well. I think it's very cool. It definitely detonates any era people have hidden inside. And it's just like that. Yeah. Then we're going to have, yeah, let's just, well. Here we have the Marksman M5 sniper cannon. I haven't decided, but I think I'll have some of this on the like upper bridge because they're kind of low profile. Sniper E cannon, kind of fat, thick like this. It's not as heavily armored, but that is because this thing uses 2-meter shells and they all have ammo ejectors and defuses, so it's kind of a safer cannon to use. And this, I made this to be extremely accurate, but to be a gunpowder turret, that's extremely accurate. So here you can see we have a sabot head. We actually have a sabot frag head, so I do, of course, using a sabot head will reduce the effective like frag damage, but in my testings, this was kind of good because I think it was Nico Pence in the comments field who kind of tips me about this a little bit before, that there is an area where you can have sabot heads that really overshoot the AP value to always deal full damage and never get deflected on the enemy's hulls. So this shell never gets deflected because it has more AP value than most targets, and it deals small frag damage, so it can be really good to snipe out detection and stuff like that. I was actually surprised that it did as much damage as it does, considering that it's just a 67mm shell. Yeah, we can just look at it again. Let's see here. Yeah, and it has a visible tracer just to make it a lot more accurate, and it's this kind of sniper autocannon, like this, a pretty accurate thing. So I don't know, we can just add some, we can just have some planes or something, just so we can kind of see them in action. I'm thinking. And you can see this thing is of course, whoops. That was fast, okay. We're shooting at really weak targets, and now they're both spamming on it, of course, but yeah, the tracer thing, I think on these soft targets it basically goes through most of the time. So we can see, god damn it, they really eat them up. Hard target to be accurate against. I don't know, I did some tests. The sniper cannon that I made seems to be very accurate. Let's see here, what does it have in accuracy? 0.0. The recoil absorption is a lot higher than, yeah, it's balanced. It should be really good. Bam. they're doing short work of these small airplanes, that's for sure. So anyways, let's just see what... oh, there is one prefab I kind of want to show. I think it is... I did a little Tetapac amphibious AMM system. So this is a pack of anti-missile missiles, and they are actually doubling as anti-torpedo torpedoes. So this is something I'm also going to add as some extra anti-missile missile additions. Yeah. Oh god. Why did they do that? But these are the turrets at least, and we're going to add them on the ship, and hopefully it's gonna be like a cool thing. Yeah. Let's see how we're dealing with like a Hake squadron, because that's some pretty quick things. Oh, damn it, we're missing some of the shots. That's not good. One thing I was thinking about is to possibly have like stabilizer fins on the shells as well, but it became a little bit too slow, and I was worried that the damage would be limited if the shell was too slow. Now the Hakes, they're pretty quick too, so they're not easy to hit. They're trying to aim for the wings, aren't we? It's kind of cool that they used the jet engines to really maneuver around like that. And my detection isn't the best either, so maybe I should shoot by hand instead to actually show its accuracy. That one is dead. Very nice indeed. That one is basically dead. Yeah, so that's a little sniper cannon thing. One thing more about the ship here. On the main missiles, on the missile turret we made, I've changed it to be a variable thruster with a secondary torpedo propeller, and have some APN guidance and actually be infrared seekers. I've fiddled around a little bit with different settings, and I found out that this is the best setup for this system. Or I might change it again, but this is what I've seen so far. And this is because some of the time the missiles actually land into the water, and that's very problematic. Since we're shooting at this low angle, it happens a lot when there are waves too. So the best solution to that was actually to just have secondary torpedo propellers too. And when we're having that, the missiles will never, you know, get stuck in the water. So that's basically that. I will be adding the turrets we made to the ship. I will add some decorations and start designing the aircraft it will carry. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and of course subscribe so that you will get the next video. The other episodes are in the playlist in the description, so you should definitely check that out. And if you want to support the channel even more, you can become a commissioned officer in the army of Gmodism by joining the Patreon, or become a member of YouTube to enter the ecclesiarchy of Gmodism. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. This is Gmodism signing out.